Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from Cadburies Group, are responsible in completing the financial statement of Shah's Patin farm in the story of Patin's case. First of all, let us introduce about the story in this case. Shah was the owner of the Patin's farm since 2001. Fortunately, on 1st of June 2019, he received an offer of financial assistance of the relevant authority to boost the Patin industry in Pahang. He was really interested, but unfortunately, he doesn't have any proper accounting record of the company. Sabri, who was his nephew, was just graduated in accounting and haven't started his career yet, was responsible to complete the financial statement of Shah's Patin farm. So let's help Sabri to complete the financial statement after gathering the information given by Shah.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I'm Husna Nadira, A161674, will present about sales for the story of Patin case. Let's move on to the information that we can get from the case. There are 75 unit cages for total. Next, there are two areas which are Area A and Area B. In Area A, there are 4 sections from Section 1 until Section 4, while in Area B, there are 6 sections from Section 5 until Section 10. For Section 1 until Section 4, there are 10 small cages for each section. For Section 5 until Section 9, there are 6 large cages for each section. And lastly, there are 5 large cages for Section 10. Next, from the table, we can see there are 1,500 fish seeds can be released for small cages and 2,000 for large cages. As we know from the case, state that the survival rate of Patin fish is 50%. The rate of sales return was 7%. The sales for wholesaler is RM10 ringgit per kilogram and RM14 ringgit per kilogram for hotels. Now, as we can see from the slide, there is a table shows information when the fish seed will be released and harvest. The fish can be harvested after 6 months the fish seed release. That's why when the fish seed release on August 2017, it will be harvested on January 2018. And yeah, for November and December, fish seed cannot be released because rainy season and floods were expected. Now, let's move on to the calculation of net sales. We have 2,000 amount of fish seeds and we'll multiply with 50% the survival rate. We will get 1,000 fish seeds. Then, we will multiply it with 6 large cages in section 8. Then, we will get 6,000 for total of Patin fish. To get the total of Patin fish in kilogram, we will multiply it with 0.7 kilogram. We will get 4,200 kilogram. For total sales, we will sum up the sales for wholesaler and hotels. The calculation is as shown in the slide. We will get 45,360 ringgit, the total for both sales. To get the net sales, we will minus the total for both sales with the 7% of sales return, and the calculations will remain the same for the following months.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Izzati binti Amir, A157480, and I will continue in explaining about the cost of goods sold by the story of Patin's case. Let's continue about the information given in the case. There are 2 items included in cost of goods sold, which are fish seeds and pellets. For fish seeds, the quantity that used to be released in small cage are 1,500 seeds, while in large cage are 2,000 seeds. The ideal size for seeds are 3 inches, which cost 30 cents per seeds. Shah will bought the seeds and release it to the selected cage according by month, except for November and December. While for pellets, there are 120 bags are needed for each cage, that cost 65 ringgit. Now let's calculate the cost of goods sold. For fish seeds, in small cage, they will harvest in June until September. The calculation in getting 15,000 seeds are 1,500 seeds times by 10 cages in a month. While for large cage, they will harvest the seeds in June until in January to March and October until December. The month to harvest the seeds are based on the month when the seeds are released, and they will harvest them after 6 months based on the cycle of Patin. For large cage, there were 5 months with 6 cages for seeds to be released and 1 month with 5 cages of seeds to be released. To get the amount of 12,000 seeds, 6 cages will be multiplied by 2,000 seeds, while the amount of 10,000 seeds were calculated by 5 cages times 2,000 seeds. However, for pellets, they need 120 bags per cage, and for small cage, 1,200 of pellets were needed, and while for large cage, 720 bags were needed. The total unit of pellets in bags will multiply by the price, which is 65 ringgit per bag. Therefore, the total cost of goods sold are calculated by adding the total cost of fish seeds and pellets, which is 39,000 ringgit plus by 585,000 ringgit, and we will get the total cost of goods sold, which is 624,000 ringgit. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Siti Nursulha binti Nasri, A157264. Will discuss about expenses in Patin case. The access fee is 200 per month and 2,400 for 1 year. And the salary for 4 workers are 4,800 for 1 month and 57,600 for a year. Next, for carbide that shall fill in the drum cost 1 ringgit each and need to fill 680 units drums every 3 months. So Shah needs to spend 2,700 for carbide in a year. Shah also need to spend 1,800 a year for petrol and maintenance of trucks, which costs 150 ringgit for a month. The last part is loss of biological asset. The fish seed released 1,500 in small cage and 2,000 in large cage. The fish survive rate is 50% after 6 months. The cage quantity is 40 for small cage and 35 for large cage. So the total loss of biological asset is 65,000 units from small and large cage. So the total cost is 19,500, which is 30 cents each cost of the fish seeds. So the total expenses is 176,455 ringgit Malaysia for end year 2018.
Hi, my name is Amirah. Now, I will present the depreciation of assets Patin in the financial position. Before we calculate the depreciation, we need to know asset the Patin have. Here, the detail of asset given. What we can see, Patin had the small cages and the large cages. These cages come along with steel frame and nets, and the lifespan is the 7 and 4 years repetitively. Next assets are drum flutes with lifespan and 4 years. For the main storage facility, it will not include in our accounting period 2018 because they were purchased at the 1st January 2019. For the smallest storage facility, have the lifespan 10 years. The last one is truck with the lifespan is 15 years. This truck is already been used for 8 years. For the cost of truck, we decided to make the assumption purchase cost is 85,000 because it is not stated in the case. After we got the detail of asset, we can calculate the total cost of asset per each, where the cost per unit is times to the amount of quantity. Next, after we got all the cost of asset, we proceed to calculate the depreciation of the current year 2018. For finding the depreciation of asset, we decide to use straight line method, which is the total cost divided by useful life. Okay, first, we calculate the depreciation with the normal calculation of the small cages. So, the calculation of the small cages for steel frame section 1 and 2 is 100,000 divided by 7 years, and the small cages for the net section 1 and 2 is 60,000 divided by 4 years lifespan. Where the small cages for section 3 and 4 have the different dates of accurate. The date accurate for section 3 and 4 is on 1st July 2017. We need to divide it into 2 parts. So, the calculation for the section 3 and 4, it will be the same total cost for the steel frame 100,000 divided by 7 years, time to 6 months over 12 months, and the time to for the get the total 1 year depreciation in the accounting period is 40,286. And the small cages for the next is depreciation is 50,000 with the same calculation. For the depreciation of the last cages, we just need to calculate for the section 5 and 6. The calculation for section 5 and 6 will be same case with the section 3 and 4. And the other section, which is section 7 and 10, will not calculate the depreciation because the date accurate is not in our accounting period 2018. So the depreciation for the last cages we got is 22,286. After we calculate the all depreciation of assets, including the ground floor, small storage facility, and also truck with the normal calculation, which is the amount depreciation is 3,910, 2,000, 6,000 respectively. Lastly, we need the total of the all depreciation of the asset for the current year 2018 is amounted to 92,434. This amount need to disclose at the profits and loss. So, I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Pubineswari, daughter of Odia Selvan. My metric number A157782. I will explain about the calculation of asset in Shah's Patin Farm. Here we have non-current asset and assets. So the non-current asset in Shah's Patin Farm are small cages, large cages, truck, drum, small storage facilities. We never take the main storage facilities because it's not included in our accounting period. To find the total cost of asset, the quantity of asset should multiply by the cost per unit of the asset as I shown in the table. For the truck, we assume the cost is 85,000 ringgit. So the total cost of non-current asset in Shah's Patin Farm is 790,640 ringgit. For the current asset, Shah has the Patin fish as their biological asset. Since the accounting period and the harvested period of the Patin fish with 6 months, and to show the Shah's company have the biological asset by 31st December of 2018, the release month of the fish seed should be on August 2018. This time of period included the large cage allocation from the section 8 to 10 as shown in the table. For the calculation of biological asset, we must have the expected fish seed to be harvested from the survival rate of 50% from the 22,000 seeds of the large cage. To find the unit of the fish seed, the allocation of large cage should be times by the expected seed to be harvested. To find the quantity of Patin at 31st December 2018, the unit of fish seed that expected to be harvested multiplied by the survival rate from the release month to the December 2018, we will get the unit of Patin fish at the 31st December 2018. The quantity of Patin should times by the price of ideal fish seed, which is 30 cents. We will get the total cost of Patin that we known as biological asset as I shown in the table. So the total is 3,045 ringgit. So here is the statement of financial position of Shah's Patin Farm. The total non-current asset after deducted by the accumulated depreciation is 546,325 ringgit, while the current asset as 3,045 ringgit. So the total asset of Shah's Patin Farm is 549,370. Thank you.
Now we look at the liability. In the world of accounting, a financial liability is also an obligation, but is more defined by a previous business transaction or events or sales or services or anything that provides economical benefit. Based on this case, page 13, 4.4, teaming up for Patin, paragraph 3, we can strongly say that Shah will settle the payment of pallet after 1 month of period, which is the settlement payment of pallets in month December 2018 will be paid on January 2019. Page 10, last paragraph shows that the price of bag and also the bags of pallets need for each cage. On my right side, show the settlement done by Shah according to the 30 days credit for pallets. As we can see, the settlement for month of January will be paid on February. This is the progress until the year end. But on the December 2018, the payment will be done by January 2019. Since Shah Patin Farm year end is 31st December 2018, so the amount on that month will be recorded as an account payable. This is how the account payable occur under liability. Last but not least, equity. Equity is the remaining values of an owner interest in a company after deduct all the liabilities. The figure of capital is RM 800 46,022 ringgit. This amount is a fully estimation by our group because in this case there is no provided amount for capital because this is the first time for Shah doing a financial statement. The amount of estimation we figure out after comparing the statement of financial position on liability and asset so that there is no crisis on the financial statement. In a nutshell, diagram on my right hand side show the profit and loss statement year end 31st December 2018 based on the statement where sales minus sales of return minus cost of goods sold minus total expenses, we able to get net profit or losses. For this case, Shah Patin Farm has losses. The amount is Rm 343,452 ringgit. Lastly, diagram on my right hand side show the statement of financial position at 31st December 2018. The total amount of asset is Rm 549,370 ringgit. For liability, we have account payable. The amount is Rm 46,800. For equity, we have capital minus loss where the amount is Rm 502,570 ringgit. So the total liability and equity is Rm 549,370 ringgit. Finally, we can see the total amount of asset equal to the total amount of liability plus equity. Thank you.